Welcome to Motherhood and the Messy Middle, where grade school meets grown kids, hot flashes meets holy fire, and no topic is too messy for this village. I'm Robin.
I'm Nicole, and we're two moms who slid into each other's DMs, built a deep friendship without ever meeting in person, and now we're creating a virtual village where we're inviting you in. This is season 2, and we're continuing our mission of normalizing the messy middle through real, connecting conversations between two friends who are living it right alongside you.
We'll be experimenting this season with themed mini-series on topics like estrangement, difficult conversations, holidays, and personal growth, always with honesty, hope, and maybe even a little laughter. Because we know that motherhood and midlife, it can stretch you spiritually, emotionally, hormonally, sometimes all before breakfast.
So whether you're raising littles, navigating midlife, or just tired of pretending that you're fine, this space is for you. So let's dive in.
Well, Nicole, it's that time of year where we are getting our cozy on.
I'm under a heated blanket as you say that.
Oh my gosh, I am. Hold on, we got to pause. I got to go get I don't have a heated blanket. So
You don't?
No, I don't.
In Minnesota?
I know.
Because it gets very cold there, right?
It gets very cold here. Yes.
The temperatures dropped here in Idaho this week, and it's been much colder. And my mother-in-law was here visiting, and she's very small and petite, and she's tiny, and it's cold. And so I went and got a heated blanket. Okay, can I tell you what happened to my last heated blanket? You want to just really put all our dirty laundry out there?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, the last. So embarrassing.
You're the one that wants to say it,
I know, because this is just how I live. This is just how, it's all out there. Okay, so the last heated blanket we had was just like a throw, and one of my kids was sick, and he got sick on the blanket.
Oh my gosh.
Which I appreciated because I'd have to clean up the floor, but it was in the middle of winter, and it was in the middle of the night. So I just put it outside because it was in the middle of the night, and I was like, I'll clean it up. And then we were like sick for a while, and then I think we like all rotated being sick, and it got moved, and I forgot that the blanket with the vomit was outside, and it was frozen because it was in the middle of winter. And so then when I went to get it, it was like all frozen solid and like stuck together, and I was like, I'm not dealing with. I'm throwing.
Well, and
away.
it's electrical.
It's
there's nothing about that I'm an environmentalist and try to salvage things whenever I can. And there are certain things you got to, align your energy. And that one, I'm glad
Not
you
worth
purchased
it.
it. No, not worth it. I'm glad you purchased a new blanket.
And every time we would have gotten underneath it, we would have thought this was frozen vomit.
Yeah. Since you're airing your laundry, I'm going to make a confession here. The one of the reasons truly that I don't have a heated blanket is because I had a problem as a teenager, into now my 40s, with leaving curling irons on. And when I was a teenager, I had this like egg crate foam on my mattress, and I left a curling iron on my bed, like did not burn the house down. Literally, like, praise everything. But there's significant backlash of, being concerned about electricity and like burning things.
Yeah.
And now I'm in such a great spot because not only do I have a curling iron that automatically shuts off after 60 minutes, I also got one of those silicone holders for it.
Yeah.
So I have a system, because you know how much I like systems.
Yeah.
I'm science, soul, and systems over here. And I unplug it immediately while it's still piping hot, put it in the sleeve and put it away. And we've had to turn around from like driving away from the house because I've had such anxiety about leaving it on. Yeah. And so there's some of that with the heated blanket that makes me a little weird too. So we'll work on things slowly. I have 2 cats, so they help when they want to cuddle on the lap.
That's true. They keep you nice and warm.
Well, speaking of the coziness of the season and even the cats, right? Like my cats are not black, by the way, but it is officially Halloween for this episode coming up. And we wanted to really look at the holidays. And so we're dropping in right now, going to talk about Halloween. Then we're going to get into some other episodes around some courageous conversations on some very messy topics. And then back into the holidays when we're in the full swing of the mess and delight that is Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. But right now with Halloween coming up, both of us are neurodivergent and have children that have neurodivergence. So I wanted to just shed some light on what it looks like as we've been navigating Halloween over the years, as well as how magical things can be, but also overwhelming.
Sure.
Because every time that I have that conversation with people, they're like, oh, just almost like a sigh of relief because
Mm.
so much of our culture is making things seem like everything is picture perfect and we have these beautiful costumes and little gift bags and we're doing all of the things and that's just 1% of what we're seeing. So,
Well, a couple episodes ago, I was talking about this pretty picture perfect white picket fence and how I have no white picket fence. It's been trampled, it's been run over, and it's just chaos. So
and
I
it
gave
has
up.
a frozen pukey electric
Yes,
blanket.
no picture perfect here. It's all a hot mess all the time. Oh my gosh. I think the last time I did like cute matching, they was really cute when they were little. We all four of the kids were Ghostbusters,
Oh my
and it was
gosh.
super cute. And that they were super super little. Like I think our oldest was probably 12. It was probably 10 years ago. Like they were super super little.
Now, did you and your husband also
No.
do you dress up? Okay.
No, well, so Mark being in the cooking industry, most Halloweens he was working when they were little.
Mhm.
So it's only been in the more recent years that he's even been home for Halloween. And so no, I just never really had a desire to dress up.
Okay, so let's even
So
rewind more. How do you feel about Halloween?
I'm I don't I do you mean like from my religious perspective?
I mean both. And I had told you that as a teenager, one of the greatest ways that I connected with my parents was watching the television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Uh-huh.
And recently I discovered as an Amazon Prime member that there's a whole TV
Mm-hmm.
station. There's like multiple that you can watch just nonstop, all of these old
Yeah.
shows, and Buffy's
Yeah.
on there. And I do not feel that it holds up in the same way that and I'm watching and I'm like, I can't believe I watched some of these things. But you had shared with me that you were not allowed to watch that.
Oh no.
And ironically, I just attended an online service this Sunday with someone who I follow that it was a prayer service and education around Mother Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sharing how he grew up in a Presbyterian church and that when he was a teenager, I can't remember if it was a pastor or what they're called, but he literally said, you can either choose the church or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I laughed out loud when I heard that because I was not going through that same experience. I mean, I was at a Catholic high school, but I wasn't necessarily sharing all my media with, my like the nuns and everyone else. And my parents were self-proclaimed atheists. So
Yeah.
it was a very different scenario
Yeah.
for my family. So yeah, what is Halloween like for you personally? But I mean, personally is interrelated with your faith and how you grew up. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so growing up, we did not do a traditional Halloween. Yeah, that was my parents' conviction. And so we went to the churches. We did the trunk or treats and we did things at the church. And we did it sometimes like not on Halloween, but we always did. I remember giving out candy too. So we didn't like shut everything down.
Were you dressing
Um,
up?
when we did the trunk or treats,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But we couldn't do anything. There was like limits. Like you couldn't do anything scary. You couldn't do anything
Mm-hmm.
provocative.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were certain boundaries. Um, but yeah, I remember doing it at churches mostly. Or I was homeschooled, and so the homeschool groups would do like bonfires or they would
So
do funny things.
when you were growing up and even where you live now, is Halloween on like trick or treating? Is it at nighttime on Halloween evening?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What
Okay,
about
so
you?
this is gonna be mind blowing to you.
It's
So
gonna
I
be
live.
better. I'm ready.
No, it's not better. Not necessarily. It's just different. But I live in Minnesota, and when I moved here, I was like, why is everyone trick-or-treating at night? And why is it on Halloween? Because I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And in Milwaukee, where I grew up, this is not the case for the entire state of Wisconsin, and it's not even the case for like the neighboring suburbs. But I only knew what I knew where I was.
Right.
We trick-or-treated on the Sunday. It was, I believe, always before Halloween in
Okay.
the afternoon in broad daylight.
Oh.
And when,
Okay, that's kind of different.
yeah, as a
I thought you were
response
gonna
I get
say
from everybody,
I feel like it should be like Friday nights. Like the every week of Halloween be on Friday night. Like
every
it should be
every
like
parent is
Thanksgiving where it's
raising
every
their hand
fourth.
saying yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes to you.
Because
We
then
all
and the
agree.
poor teachers, they go to
Oh,
school the next day and it's out of control and
out
I
of
feel so
control.
bad.
Yes, as
Yeah.
a former
And I'm
public
like
school teacher, yes, I
I'm ringing my
100%.
kids in like, okay, you have to be home, especially now that like and I have teenagers, their friends are throwing parties and things and I want them to go, but also you have school the next day.
Hmm. Well,
So
this
yeah.
this Halloween's on a Friday, so
Oh,
let's
it'll
let it
be
loose.
party it
Yeah.
up. Party it up.
But the unfortunate piece of why I grew up with that is I don't know the exact stats or date on this, but at some point, so I was born in 1982, and so my memories are, from the 80s and 90s. And at some point in the late 70s, I believe that there was actually a child abduction
Mm,
and at
mm.
Halloween. So that completely changed the
Shifted
culture.
everything. Yeah.
Yes, and that is, you know, valid.
Yeah.
But I really so it was a culture shock to me coming
Yeah.
into other locations and being like, what do you mean everybody is out at nighttime? How do we do this at night? So,
I think it's interesting. Well, I don't know, maybe I'm just because we live in Idaho. It's very safe, but no place is immune. Like there's everywhere. But I don't let my kids go without me. Like last Halloween, our neighbors were like, oh, we'll just let the kids go and we'll stay here. And I was like, oh, sorry. I can't do that. I have far too much anxiety. I just stay on the street. I was raised not going trick or treating, but we let our kids trick or treat,
mhm,
and they dress up, and there's very little restrictions on what they can dress up as. Um, but I just stay on the street though and just let them. And they can go to the end of the street and come back, but I cannot let them go yet.
mhm,
And to be fair, our teenager didn't go with us or our high schooler, so it was just our 12 and 11-year-old. But I still felt like so little. Like they're still so
mhm.
little.
Well, and for my neighborhood, I live in a suburb, a newer development, and it's just joyous. The
Mm.
feral child energy that's
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. And it still is dangerous with traffic. I mean, it's dark. And so even
We
if you
used,
put like the lights on them and all of that, I too enjoy walking around and just quelling my anxiety with knowing that I'm there and that she's
uh-huh,
going door to door. I'm not, yeah, it's so, we all need to do whatever it is
right,
that
that best
works
serves
for
you.
us. Yeah.
Our last neighborhood was the most amazing neighborhood, and they had like stations, like a taco station. You could get nachos. And when we lived in Texas, girl, when we
Oh,
lived
it's
in Texas,
Texas. Yeah.
it was the most insane experience I've ever experienced in my entire life. And this one house had like full on bar. Like we just gave them my cup and
Cup.
he just like was pouring the liquor in. He's like, tell me when to stop. Okay. Like, and then sent us on our way. It was wild. But so it is fun walking around with them because yeah, you can like there'll be a hot cocoa station or there'll be apple cider and we have our own drinks too, but it feels like community-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some elements of that as well, which is always an interesting thing for me as a recovering alcoholic because
We're all walking around with drinks in our cups.
yeah, you are. And then even like during us, especially we had our neighborhood had really been developing right before the pandemic hit. And then,
Mm-hmm.
when everything shut down, we were a new neighborhood and that's how we got to know everyone. And we had this
Mm-hmm.
one house that coordinated, we had food trucks every
Oh,
single week for that
that's
whole summer
awesome.
of 2020. And we were doing like ladies' nights, with a fire in the driveway and all that. So like
Nice.
we have like, I think it's like 90 homes in our development, but we know like a ton of
Yeah.
them. And And so, yeah, it's just all those things are interesting. And what's for me, what is really, perhaps I read more into it, but there's always, I'm comfortable with the fact that I'm a recovering alcoholic. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't need anyone to worry about me, but
Mm-hmm.
people worry about that. Like there's kind of a resistance almost sometimes like, "Ugh, I don't know, Robin's coming, and it's like, listen, I'm a great time. And if you need to have a drink or two in order to match my energy, whether it
Yeah.
be on the dance floor
Yeah.
or a conversational top, like you do you, boo. I'm over here and I'm gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
But it's always just, we all have our own things and have to create our own boundaries. And so that leads to the next part. For me, I really want to talk about the challenge that I have with candy.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk
Because,
about candy.
my daughter, when she was born, we quickly realized that she had a genetic disorder and everything's all good now, but we went through a lot of medical trauma.
Yeah.
First getting her diagnosed. And so she has a condition called hemihyperplasia, and her legs are both different sizes, like skeletally from length and
Mm-hmm.
also girth. And she wears a lift in one of her shoes to help balance them out. And in the next several years, we get monitored with Gillette Children's Hospital. She will have surgery to clip some growth plates so that her legs will eventually balance out. But the biggest concern, she's 10 years old right now, was that she has an increased risk for abdominal tumors up until
Mm-hmm.
age 8. And so we had to do all of these blood tests and ultrasounds. And the very first scan that we had, there was a mass that was unidentifiable. And we ended up in several different specialists that nobody should ever have to go through, vascular specialists, oncologists. But because of that, I had already begun my my journey around health prior to having her. After years of infertility, I was really digging into food and the food industry.
Mm.
And then, as a holistic weight loss and wellness teacher and coach now, I had been battling my weight and my body, and I had been learning about sugar. And so then I have this baby. I had been breastfeeding her. And now we're about to start feeding her food. We have this mass. We don't know what it is. I'm like, what are all of the factors that I can try to control? And the number one that I could control was her food and
Mm-hmm.
the sugar that I started introducing her to or not. And
Mm-hmm.
that has still continued because even though she is out of that like scary time and we, she enjoys a Sprite and a root beer when we go out to eat or sometimes in the house, and she has sugar and all, like, but I still try to limit it, especially because her behavior gets off the chain when she's
Right. Well,
had
and
too
have you
much
noticed that
sugar.
when not even the sugars, but the dyes? Have you noticed the difference with the dyes?
I have not noticed the difference with the dyes, but
We noticed the difference with the red dye. Or
with all
only
three of
one.
them.
No. So we have of the three boys, the 16, 13, and 12, two have been diagnosed on the spectrum, our oldest and our youngest, and only our youngest is affected by when our oldest was younger, I feel like he was, but he's not now. But our youngest, definitely. Like we don't get there's no red Gatorade, there's no red anything. And so he after Thanksgiving, after Halloween, when we come home, he'll trade his
Mm.
brothers.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What we've been doing is I don't even remember how I learned about this, but we do something called the switch witch.
Switch witch. Yeah, my
Yep.
best friend does that.
So
Mm-hmm.
I get a gift, usually from the Fun Aisle in Aldi, and
Mm-hmm.
I hide it somewhere. And then we count up all the candy and do all of that. And then we give her some arbitrary amount that she gets to keep. And the rest of it is donated. We've actually had like the PTO at our school has done donations before, but we'll
Mm-hmm.
try to find places to take it. And I'll, at night take that and then the switch, which spoiler alert, I'm the switch witch.
Uh-huh.
And then she gets some form of a gift instead. And it's usually I like to do a craft, or one year I think it was like bongos or something. I don't know what it was,
That's
but
cute. I think
um
last year we ended up doing we just offered the boys money.
yeah.
Like, you want some cash? Because they got so much candy. It was like gallon bags full, and it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's more of a problem. Like I'm all of a sudden, in a closed door of the pantry, like in the middle,
Eating the candy.
yes.
And then it's like my husband and I are looking at each other like we just ate all of that candy. That's disgusting.
Well, and
But we
you
did.
don't feel good, right? And that's even why, leading into the holiday season, I'm working really closely with a couple clients one-on-one on what are the strategies to ditch the diet and hustle culture. So that means like we enjoy one of the areas of hunger is social hunger, cultural. Like we're not going to not
Mm-hmm.
participate or not even not have that piece of candy that brings back nostalgia or just that you enjoy the taste of. Like,
Right.
but what's a way to do it intentionally that is
Right.
mindfully nourishing your entire body, not just
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, because it's those mindless pieces. But
Right.
so the switch witch is something that we still do, and I share with so many of my friends, and they really value that, because it's just through our stories and the things that we do, that's how we learn about even different options that we can
Well, and you
have.
saying that makes me think of when we started the episode, you were talking about
Yeah.
neurodivergencies. So, do you in your area? So, for us, my best friend and I used to take our two little boys, they're close in age. There's a couple of churches that do a trunk or treat, but they do it like they have it staggered. So, the earlier hour is for special needs kids only. So, we've done that, and that's every time we do. And I was always so impressed by like it because it's slower, it's less people, the kids don't feel the pressure to rush, like they can just look at the thing because we could be standing there for quite a while picking out one singular piece of candy, or they don't want to say thank you, they're not saying trick or treat, they're not answering the questions that you've asked them, but that so it takes like this pressure and then they feel accomplished and they're not overstimulated from going out at night past their bed because that's the other thing with neurodivergencies is the routine.
Yep.
Halloween totally throws every holiday throws out
Everything.
the
Yeah.
routine, which then sends them spiraling, and then they're overstimulated, and then you add in the sugar, and we're all a hot mess. And so I really value the churches that see. For me, it's I've only seen churches do it. I don't know if other organizations do, but I really value when they do that.
Yeah. I mean, that is, it's just so important that we have multiple options for people to be able to experience whatever it might be, whether it's a concert or, I've been
Mm-hmm.
seeing a lot with like touring Broadway musicals where they have
Mm-hmm.
like a sensory, you know, experience for people with neurodivergence and that need like the quieter, even it's just like knowing that there's a safe space where other people that have the headphones on or whatever it might be are there.
Yeah.
We have not done that with our daughter, uh, and we've paid the price, because the nighttime and the craziness. I'm just anticipating that, I'm grateful that Halloween is on a Friday this year,
I
and I'm
know.
anticipating that the next day is going to just be trying to get back to being regulated. There are some pieces that I've created some routines. So, for example, we have dinner before we go trick or
A
treating.
hot every time. And I
Yep.
always get pizza because I don't want it to be a
Yep.
fight. Like I want them to I
Same.
get the Papa Murphy's little pumpkin pizza thing because I need you to eat. I need you to eat a lot and because we're not 100%.
And, with that, even though it might be breaking the routine from like the normal school weekday routine, we're still creating routines within holidays. And so there's,
Mm-hmm.
what to expect, right? And um, last year, one of my daughter's friends came, and that was really, really wonderful. And so that's happening again this year. We've invited her to
Nice.
come because we have this really wonderful neighborhood of incredible people. And yet, the exact same age as my daughter, there are not any other girls that
They're
she's
all
connected
boys.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, my daughter is the, I don't want to say something that's incorrect, but I really do think she's the only child in our like whole neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And being an only child is very challenging
Yeah.
because we don't have other, you don't have another kid that it's like,
Yeah.
well, we can just go out as family and then you have. So, it's actually really dysregulating for me, that social aspect of, well, who should I call to make sure that we're like going trick or treating with them? And is it going to be, and we've taken that factor out by knowing, okay, One of her besties is coming. Um,
Hmm.
we are all, so I do dress up and
I was
I
gonna
love
say we can't wrap
coordinating.
this up without hearing about what you're, because you have a whole thing. First of all, I would like everyone to know that she was already talking about her Halloween costumes, I feel like months ago,
Oh, Nicole,
because you had a
I talk
switch. You
about,
were gonna do one and then
yep.
you switched. It was her birthday. Her birthday.
Here's what happened. Okay. Wicked came out last year, and
Right.
literally
Yes.
at Wicked, first I had to go and see Wicked. And so this is an example of like how my daughter's neurodivergence comes up and I support it. Okay. Let me just also say, I love music. Like I am a musical. That's what I am. Like that's what I hear in my head. That's how I've always been. That's how I've like navigated so much of my life and world. I love Broadway musicals and Disney and all of the things. And my spawn is very similar to me. And yet she also gets really over stimulated with media and not knowing how something's going to end or and like love scenes and scary things and all of that. So I went and saw Wicked. My mind was blown. And I knew that Rowan would absolutely love seeing it, but she needed to know what happened. So I actually worked with ChatGPT to get an outline of Wicked. And so I ran through that whole thing with her so that she understood what was going to happen, when the scary monkeys were going to come, and all of this. And then after we had watched it, she was just in love. We ended up seeing it 3 more times together in the theater. And I said, "Oh, do you want to do her birthday's in July?" I said, "Wouldn't it be awesome to do a Wicked themed birthday party? And then we could be dressed like Wicked for Halloween. And then we'd have those
Yeah.
costumes ready for
Mhm.
Wicked too." Because, see, I'm not only planning for the future, I
Right.
am a girl on a budget. Okay.
Right.
And I'm trying to reduce my mental load. But none of that has happened. We ended up, you
I
introduced us
know.
to
Sorry.
Survivor. Yeah. Yeah. And so that was what her themed birthday was, which was so great.
It was great.
And thank you for that. We've really been
Hmm.
enjoying
It's amazing.
continuing to, yeah, and connect over Survivor. And then, the K-pop Demon Hunters has come
Right.
and
Right.
taken over
Yes.
everything.
I
So
will
my
say I finally saw a preview of that last night and I was like, oh, that does look kind of cute. The
I,
offense on Robin's face right now that I thought it was only kind of cute.
kind of cute. Okay,
It
to
does. It
each their
looks.
own.
Well, to be fair, I only saw a 3-second clip.
And to be fair, I could not watch it when it first was on because I just am like, ugh, what is this? This like anime, bleh, and I get like that. And it was because of hearing the music. It was because I was like, there's all these reels and TikToks out there of the dad that like walks by and has like a, stinky
Snarky look on
face.
his
Yeah.
face.
And
Yeah.
then the next time he's like sitting there with popcorn watching it with his daughters.
Uh-huh.
And then the third one, he's like in full costume.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay.
And so, my daughter is not only an only child, she's an only grandchild,
Mm-hmm.
and my sister-in-law is only niece. And
Mm-hmm.
I love my sister-in-law. If you think I'm a good time, watch out when the two of us get together. We are so much fun. And so, yeah, we are the K-pop Demon Hunters. My daughter is Rumi, the main character.
Okay.
And then I think my name is Mira, the like long redheaded one. And then my sister-in-law is Zoe. Um, my daughter's friend is the like derpy cat. There's like a
Okay.
cat, and then
Okay.
my husband is going to be like the manager, Bobby, and it's a whole thing. We're doing a
I
whole
love this.
thing.
This is amazing.
I found another like neighbor friend who has sons that go to my daughter's school. I think they're going as the Saga Boys because it's a Friday night. I told her like if you do for real do the Saga Boy like they or whatever they're called. I think I got them wrong. Saja. The kids get very mad at me because
Okay.
I'm really into it, but I don't have any of the right
Well,
words for
just
any
so
of
you
these
know,
things.
you're on track with me because I've
Good.
never seen it. So I'm got you
My whole point is we go
hard.
in, we go
Yeah.
in. Yeah. And
Hmm.
it's a great time.
That's awesome. I
It's
love
a
it.
great time. But everybody needs to do their own thing. And what I just really feel firm about is, I don't care how old or big someone is
A
when they
hundred
come.
percent.
Like
100%.
they're
That's
they're here asking for candy instead of like smoking a joint or doing shots in a cemetery, which are things I did in high school. Like
I'm
come
just gonna
on.
take a big sign everywhere I go, and if anybody says anything rude, I'm just gonna hold up the sign because I'm with you. I 100% dress up all you want. I don't care. Like, let's go door to door. It's so frustrating to me, people who give teenagers a hard time.
Well, and I'm going to also like say this. I get very frustrated at Halloween because our like neighborhood Facebook group, all of a sudden, a bunch of people are posting their like Ring camera doorbells because
Ugh,
they went out and left like a bucket of candy and they're like, who's this kid that came and got all of our candy?
don't
It's
leave
like,
a bucket.
don't,
Don't leave a
or
bucket.
like they're teenagers. Like, what do you
Yeah.
expect?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be,
Adjust your expectations.
and they're like, they literally are supposed to be bucking the system. They're supposed to be challenging those things. And
I know.
there cannot be a safer way than coming on Halloween night and taking candy. Like, they're not taking candy from a baby. Like these other
Right.
babies that are around, trust me, they're getting plenty of candy. Like
Right.
it's good. None of those teenagers take the Play-Doh that I leave out. We do candy, but I'm really big into multiple options, especially for allergies. And there's the whole,
Yeah.
turquoise pumpkin thing.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's just it's a fun time, and I want to always lean into joy
Hmm.
and releasing judgment. And I
Hmm.
just wish that we all could do a little bit more of that in not just the holidays, in our day to day,
Yeah.
remembering that what we see on a Pinterest page or a social media feed is just a snapshot. We don't
Yep.
know what's behind the scenes. And if you see, that includes when you see someone, whether it's a big, huge teenager that's barely dressed up, or it's, a mom with a kid who is not saying, quote unquote, the right words of trick or treat or thank you or whatever it is. Like, let's just let people have some grace and space, especially
Hmm.
right now. The
Yeah.
world is heavy enough. Like, let's just
Right.
lighten up and enjoy the joy.
Yes, I 100% agree. And what a better time to do that than on Halloween when we're giving away candy
Yes.
or Play-Doh.
Or Play-Doh. And I have to say, these blow up costumes are like the light in my world right now. Like we had these giant alien teenagers walking down the street last year, and I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Whoever came up with these blow up costumes,
I
these
know. They're
T-Rexes and
great.
everything else,
The
thank
one
you.
that the alien like has a hold of, is it
Oh, that's
he's
so
got a hold
good.
of like the little
Yes.
boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
So
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good. All right. Well, we're going to survive whatever happens, especially because this year, sigh of relief, the next day
It's
it's
Saturday.
Saturday, and
Woohoo.
we don't have to worry about school and all the
And the
other
teachers
stuff.
are so happy.
Yes. All right. Well, we will be back next week with a little shift in our focus. And
Thanks for hanging out with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
happy Halloween or not.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or movie night, whatever you do.
Whatever you do, turn off your
Trunk or
lights.
treat, trick or treat,
You do
going to
you.
bed early. All love.
All love. All right. Bye, Nicole.
Bye.
Hey, before you go, this podcast is made possible by our soul-led solopreneur businesses. NicoleCoates.com, where Nicole's helping moms navigate the pain of distance or estrangement, and Robin's Wellnest, where soul meets science meets systems to live, lead, and learn well. Support us there because it supports the conversations that we're having here. And if you love this episode, please subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a review because that also helps our village grow. Now, we also have the Vault for you. You download the Vault, which is our growing library of resources, reflection tools, and extras in the show notes, as well as at motherhoodinthemessymiddle.com. Until next time, remember, you're never alone in the messy middle.